people looked at investments as what's my ROI. I was looking at things more like what's my ROT, what's the best return on time.
All right. Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Purpose Driven Investment Podcast. I'm your host, Shini Tauscher. This is a place when we talk strategy, learn from each other, and create returns that matter. Today, I have my friend, Doron Levi. Yay! Drum roll joining us today.
Good to be
It,
here.
it was so hard to book him. Let me just tell you that. He's a busy person. And since the Strata, he has just gone like exploded, completely exploded. So I'm happy I get to grab a slot to chat with him today. How are you doing, Duran?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I know it's been a long period of time until we were actually able to do this today, but I'm happy it happened, right? Better late than never.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember the first time I met you was when Caroline and Marlon was in town and you were kind enough to invite a whole bunch of people to your house and have a little pool party over there. So that was my first encounter with you. And you strike me a person that's really kind and you're very intention with your networking. And I remember you said to me, I don't know if you remember, like when I chat with you, you said, "Hey, what are you doing?" Okay, what are you trying to do? Well, no, no, no. Let me connect you with a certain person like that will work like toward your goal, not just any random person. So you're actually paying really attention to what I'm trying to do, my objective, my goal, and intentionally trying to connect me with the person that's doing that specifically. So I'm very happy to reconnect with you today. And my goal today is to introduce you to my audience to make sure that they can help you achieve your goal as well, bring you all the opportunity. So before we start, let's talk about the Doron Levi. Before you became today's Doron Levi, maybe start with your beginning, how you started with this real estate journey.
It was a crazy start. I kind of stumbled onto real estate. I used to start up companies like just service companies, build them from the ground up and scale them and sell them. So I had a few successful exits under my belt. I came to the realization one day that I don't want to do this anymore. I lost my dad and he really messed with my head. And I just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I kind of sat with myself and try to understand what's my next play. And I had two kids, sole provider. And I'm like, okay, I have a good amount of capital because I was lucky enough to be able to do some successful exits. And I knew a little bit about business, right? And I say a little bit, but it's not really a little bit. I was pretty good at it. I'm like, okay, so what can I do with my resources that will enable me to make big steps in a short period of time? So where people looked at investments as what's my ROI, I was looking at things more like what's my ROT, what's the best return on time that I can have with anything that I can find myself getting passionate about. I always had an eye for real estate, and I'm like, okay, not really getting any kind of good vibes from a small single family. I can do that, but it takes time to scale something like that, and I always had like the scalability in my mind. And then I'm like, okay, I got to do something big. That's kind of how I stumbled into becoming a multifamily developer. I took half a block of warehouse. I knocked it out and I changed the zone, which is the allowable usage, into a multifamily usage. And I just built a ground up multifamily, 27 units. That was my first ever real estate transaction. I've never done a fix and flip. I never done any kind of remodeling. I didn't know a 2x4 from a hole in the wall, right? But I figured it out because that's kind of what I do. I figure things out. That's how I started.
That is so interesting because by just listening to that, you're kind of just a guy who just dive right in. You figured out the parachute on the way down. Like basically, you was like, oh, that sounds interesting. When you say that, I was like, wait a second, you didn't know 2x4, you didn't know how you haven't even fixed a house before. It's just like, oh, there's a potential. I'm gonna jump on it and I'll figure my parachute on the way down. That's such a trademark of a very successful entrepreneur. I know a lot of people are like think too much, and by the time they realize they're comfortable with it, the opportunity has passed, right? But you did it the complete opposite, which is so interesting to me. And I want to kind of unpack a little bit because I know you just cover that so quick. Changing the zoning is not exactly easy process. Can we take a little bit of time to talk about that? Because you bought that soft, it was like a storage, right? You try to convert that into a multifamily. Was it an easy, smooth process when you tried to change your zoning with the or usually the county has somebody who reviewed that?
Yeah, so this is the thing. I'll take a step back before I answer the question because it's relevant for the answer. Coming into this world of real estate, I didn't come empty-handed, meaning I didn't went into like a battle with any kind of tool at my disposal. I didn't come with nothing. I was armed with a lot of knowledge about how to do business, and if you think about it really good for a minute, every business has pretty much the same pillars, right? I don't care if it's a laundromat, if it's a service company, if it's a multi-million dollar company, you have your HR, you have your operations, you have your financials aspect of it. Pretty much four pillars that you have, and the fourth one being sales and marketing. Why am I telling you this? Because when I approached real estate for the first time, I knew a lot about each of those pillars. I knew a lot. If it's through the zoning, working with lawyers as a business owner, I worked with lawyers a lot. I did a lot of insurance work. There's a lot of intricacies of different trades, including lawyers, how to read things, go through contracts, go through we call heavy lifting, right? When
Right.
you have that type of a process, you have to know how to approach it. I approached it very different than someone without the knowledge that I had prior from business. So I'm not suicidal trying to figure out where if there's a parachute on the way down. I wasn't like it wasn't like that. It was very challenging. They say practice makes perfect, and
Right.
I say it doesn't make you perfect, but it makes you better, right? So I started better because I learned a lot of things before I actually executed on them. I did the homework. I know how to look at things. I know the angles of things. It was fun. And when I changed the zoning ordinance, meaning the land usage, think about it, then came the financial pillar. How do you build a budget,
Budget. Yes.
right? I didn't have
Scope
time
of
to
work.
I didn't
Right.
have time to eat all day. So yeah. So right, like how do you build a budget is the financial aspect. It was $3.5 million of a budget to build that. That was quite a few years ago. Today it'll probably be over 5 million with the
Right.
cost of good increase, right? So that's the financial part, and then comes the construction part, which I didn't know, but it's operations. You got to run
Right.
crews, you got to run subs, you got to run. It's operations, it's timelines, it's scheduling, it's all the
The
things
material
in the
ordering.
operation.
Yep.
Yes, in the operational pillar, right? And then you build it and you're done building it. Then what? You have to occupy it. What is that? It's marketing. How do you market it, right? You put a marketing package and you know how you put it out. That's also sales and marketing. So all those pillars I just touched on, I was very good with scars, right? Like I had scars on my body. I wasn't very good right off the gate when I started my first company,
Mhm.
but I did it to a certain degree. And then I took all the lessons from the first one and I implemented it on the second. And then it was much better than the first. But then I also
Right.
learned from that and I implemented on the other one. So when I started my real estate career, I already came with a lot of knowledge.
Scar. So I want to dive into that when you use the word scar. I imagine that there must be some story there, like the hard lesson learned that, you know what, I now come out with the battle scar I learned and then go through that bloodbath and I came out. Can you give us a little bit insight of like whether those experiences look like failed experiments and then learn from it and persevere?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you for that. I'm a very different person than most people, and everyone has their own life story, and everyone carries their own baggage and weight. I am just a guy that remember himself since childhood, always trying to figure things out, always making things happen. I'm on my own since I'm 14 years old, and I always can only count on one person, and that was me. And if I didn't make it happen, then there's just no fallback. And why am I telling you all this? Because at the end of the day, when you have that type of a mindset, mentality, and DNA, you have a very high sense of perseverance and
Mhm.
and grit. So where other people fail, I'm still warming up. Where they failed, I'm still warming up. And I had to say it again because that's exactly how it goes down. Matter of fact, sometimes before they even fail, they're out of the race because they're still stuck in their mind by the analysis paralysis
Right.
or by trying to make things perfect even outside of their head before they even make the first step. Or if they did the first step, then before they do the second step. And I'm already half a mile down the street.
Correct. You already
Uh,
figured a better way to do it by doing it.
yeah,
Right.
because in a way, think about a bird on a branch 100 feet from the ground, a tiny branch. Why isn't it scared it's going to break and fall and it's going to die? Because it trusts that he can fly,
Kiss the wings. Yes.
right? So I'm half a mile down the road, not because I'm so smart, because I trust myself to figure it out. and I'm not getting stuck where a lot of times people do get stuck because they don't know if this is good enough before they can actually go to the
To
next
jump.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give myself some trust in that regards, which is definitely a strategic advantage.
Right. Yeah, those are really good trademark for a very successful entrepreneur. And I recently had a chat with you. I want to just put it into perspective when people are saying about it going through a hard thing. You really have gone through a hard thing. We're talking about escaping the war. Let's touch on it a little bit if you don't mind sharing that, because I think going through the hard thing that you obviously see these as your battle scar or even training ground to go through, right? While other people say, well, I might fail on that. I don't want to try it. You see as an opportunity to train yourself to be better equipped with the more skill, more upgraded knowledge to move on the next best thing. But would you mind sharing a little bit of what that would look like? Because when people say this is hard, I can't even imagine what it was like for you to go through that, have to like bring your family out of the war zone. And that really says a lot from you as a personality wise, as being such a successful entrepreneur with like the grit you're talking about.
There are things that you can and you will learn in life, but there's also your DNA because there's nothing nowadays that you cannot learn. Between Google, YouTube, and AI, you have all the knowledge out there. So why is not everyone multi-billionaires? Because their DNA is different. And what I'm trying to say is that a war is a terrible thing. And I always say that there's no winners in a war. There's no winners. There's
Right.
only losers.
Only
You know,
loser.
at the end of the day, your DNA will basically mandate how you're going to cope with things, not your knowledge. And people are too fixated about the knowledge part. But the truth of the matter is, I cannot go to the Olympics and have the fastest sprint time because I'm not an athlete. My DNA doesn't allow me to be that athlete. I don't care how much I'm going to learn about what it takes to be the best athlete. I can do the feeding, the eating, the training, the everything. I'm just not. And where am I going with this is you can evolve into something different. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago and 10 years ago. You're always changing. You can change your DNA, not on a molecular level, but you can change your DNA of personality, of who you are
Would
by
you see
going
that as
through the tough times, by going through the hardship, by doing the things that you don't want to do, the things that you hate, like you like them and like you want to do them although you don't, and that changes your DNA.
would you say that's more like a mindset shift of like you have to constant learning to retrain yourself? Is it a trainable trait?
Yeah, it is, but it's a very painful one, and most people don't want to go through the pain.
Right. We want to stay in the place that we're comfortable with. That's a human nature.
It's human nature. It's how we built from our creator to protect our own selves, right? Who likes to fear? Only a sociopath likes to, like, I mean, matter of fact, a sociopath doesn't even fear anything. What do you think? I'm not fearing anything? Of course I am. I'm not a sociopath. And I even tell my kids, they think daddy is like the bravest soul on the planet. And I tell my kids, I'm also scared, but I do it anyway, right? That's what makes us brave. The problem is that people get stuck at the fear stage and not counting on themselves to be able to actually come out on the other side. I am not smarter than anybody else. I'm not smarter than most people that are not successful. I am not. I just do things that they don't want to do. It's literally that. There's nothing more to it.
Wow. And the consistency as well. Do the things that other people don't want to do. So I'm going to change gear a little bit because I think that really sets a great tone of you as a person, your characteristic, your personality, and why you decide to take on big thing. When I talk about big things, commercial side of real estate, you're the commercial real estate guy. There are different subset of commercial asset. Could you talk about like what kind of asset under the commercial umbrella is something that you feel like that's your specialty?
What a great question. So I started my commercial real estate journey in developing multifamily, and I did tell you my first project. I've done a few of them. And then through the chain of events, through my journey, as I was converting a senior living facility over to another multifamily, it wasn't a ground up. I bought a senior assisted living that basically went under, didn't survive. And I started converting it into a multifamily because that's the class I was in. And then I pivoted. I put about $3 million in it. Two was not mine. $1 million was mine cash. And because I had to move fast, it was just such a great deal. I never injected so much of my own capital into a deal, but
Right.
I took a $4 million construction loan to do that conversion. And then I pivoted about 40% in by getting another $4.5 million construction loan. So I'm about $8.5 million on the cost of my construction to make a hotel conversion. So instead of doing a multifamily conversion from the senior assisted living, I actually went towards getting a hotel license. I changed the zoning, it's called a variance, to get the hotel license, and then went down to the resort path. And the difference between a hotel and a resort is there's a lot of more commercial elements in it. Like I have 2 restaurants over there, I have 2 bars, spa, gym, and just a lot of different
More high
components.
end, right?
Yeah,
More
yeah.
high-end feel. I think that's so interesting because you start with buying, it's a great deal. You jump on it. It was assisted living. You decide to convert it into multifamily. Somewhere down the line, you decide to change that into hotel and then later pivot into resort. What are the decision point made you decide, you know what, this is not fit for a multifamily. I think hotel will be better. And I'm going to insert, as you're talking, that beautiful hotel that you finished building while you're talking about it. It was just wow, it's stunning. It's a hotel called Anna and Bell in Philadelphia. I'm gonna drop the link here on the bottom so everybody can check it out. This is like just stunning. I can't find any other word. I'm actually booking my anniversary day to go take my husband out there to have dinner over there. You just learned about that. So I'm trying to
So
go.
romantic. Oh my
It
God.
was so romantic, and in that restaurant, the Batista, did I say it right?
Bastia. Did you went
Bastia?
there already, or
No,
you?
I'm booking it to go over there, like, on our anniversary day, like, because it was such a romantic place, and that restaurant was rated the number 1 restaurant just recently in Philadelphia, which is a huge achievement. Congratulations, my friend. I'm just blown away by the result that you completely beautified that project. So
At some point, the city of Philadelphia decided they're cutting off all the Airbnb to the Philadelphia area, just like they did in a lot of other metropolitan cities
right.
in the country, like New York. They did the same thing in San Francisco. So now I'm at a point where I'm just like doing this project and I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? Everyone's dropping their Airbnbs and running to the hills. Like, this
Right.
is like madness. Like, people are losing the shirts on their back because their entire business is reliant on Airbnb. And more than that, I'm even thinking, where's all those people that need the short-term accommodation are going to go now
Hotel.
too, right? So I had a little bit of Airbnbs. I had like maybe 11 Airbnbs. The rule of short term that I have is I call it the 3 H's. First H is a highway, the other is a hotel, and the third one's a hospital. If you have all those 3, then you have a very high potential to monetizing very well on short term. Why?
Why
Uh,
highway? I know I get
I'm,
the hotel and
I'm getting there.
okay.
So the hotel is because obviously if people build a hotel there, like the Hiltons, the Sheratons, they dump a lot of money on analysis before they even put the hotel, right? So unless it's actually needed. So that's the first one. The second one, if people come in downtown, they want to scout. Do you come from Seattle or wherever? You want to be close to a highway so you can jump on a highway and then go somewhere else. That's the H for the highway. And the last one, the hospital, people do chemo. If you have a parent or a loved one that does chemo and you're out of state, you want to stay there and aid them and be with them, right? So we have 4 hospitals in Philadelphia alone. We got CHOP Hospital for children, right? People fly all over the country. So the demand is there. And I always advocate, listen to the market. It's not what I want. It's not what you want. It's what the market needs, what the market wants. And that's kind of what I did. And I listened to the market. And that's what caused me to pivot. And what caused me to pivot from multifamily to hotel, I just told you. And from a
Right.
hotel to resort is because there was a lot of commercial space that the senior assisted living had, right? Like the people had a ballroom, a bingo room, a cafeteria, like a lot of commercial. And I'm like, okay, so what are we going to do with this now in a hotel? Let's bring some more element. Let's create some from a business standpoint, a synergy of things that this thing's fitting the other thing and this thing's fitting the other thing. And if this one's not working because it's off season, we got this one season picking up and then this is working. So it's kind of all balancing it out also.
So that's like
And
a smart usage of the space. Basically, you can kind of play into your creativity.
it's a space, but also a business plan.
Right.
Because if you think
Right.
about it, if you create a really, really good restaurant and you're going to feed 400, 500, 600 diners on a weekend, they're going to come to your restaurant in the hotel and they're going to say, wow, that's a beautiful hotel. I never knew there's a hotel here. And next thing you know, your booking's going up because you
Right.
increase the foot traffic by thousands every single month. And now they know there's a hotel. So now you're getting the hotel, right? And whenever the hotel is off season and there's not a lot of bookings, the restaurant's working.
Right.
Right. So this is a well-known business philosophy that I can't take credit for. Although all my businesses that I ever built are following the same principle is diversification. There's always going to be seasons. There's also always going to be financial flexes of different things. So you stay busy throughout the whole year. Even my service companies. I've done multiple things that when one didn't work, the other one compensated for it. So I'm
Right.
always getting a lot of income throughout the year.
Multiple income streams to diversify so you stay afloat at the marketplace because the market shift. Right now, a lot of Airbnb operator, they're just what we call Airbnb bust this year. A lot of them are selling because there's just no traffic. And I also think you're so smart because a lot of those hotel chain, Marriott, Hilton, they all have a lobbyist. They control the
Oh yeah,
policy a lot of times. So
100%.
yep, they can tell you that you can't do short term because you're in hotel hospitality business. There's no time restriction. That was so smart. Wow. Well, I know you also have another restaurant. Was it in the same hotel or is it somewhere
Yeah.
off chain?
So Bastia got the number one restaurant in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 50 restaurants in Philadelphia that were nominated, and we got the first place.
Wow.
And then Calieta,
Caliente.
that is actually a piano bar that does just like very small hors d'oeuvres, like finger foods and things like that, got
It's so chic.
before
I look at
Bastia,
yeah.
before Bastia, got the best new restaurant in 2024 in Esquire magazine, which is very well known as well.
Esteem, yeah. Right.
We serve a cheeseburger over there that people drive 2 hours for. I mean, when you go there, you have to check Bastia, but you have to have the cheeseburger in Calieta. Like it's
Okay.
no
Market.
joke. Oh my! Oh, I mean, this is recorded, so you can go back.
Right. I'm gonna include the link here. So yep, go to Caliente to order that cheeseburger.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't say I didn't tell you so.
Right.
So yeah, so there's two restaurants and there's two bars. The bar in Calieta is amazing. I mean, there's a bigger bar in Bastia, but the bar in Calieta sits also outside, people around the
Mm-hmm.
pool. It's a very,
Right.
very different vibe. I did my multifamily workshop a little while ago in Philadelphia, and I took all the people that
Attendees.
participated in the workshop there. And we're sitting out, and everybody got that amazing cheeseburger, and it was such a great experience. Ashley Perez had a birthday. We got her cake.
Oh,
Yeah, it
love
was really cool,
Ashley. Yes.
really cool. And then I see two people, like younger people, trying to take a picture in front of the pool. The pool is very different. I flew the pool in from London. It's a very, very beautiful pool, and they're trying to like do a selfie and get
Right.
themselves in the pool. And I see they can't quite figure out the angles, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm standing up, we're all sitting and eating, and I'm going to them, and I'm like, let me do it for you.
Yeah.
And I go
It's
to
tech.
them and I take their picture, and they're obviously grateful. And I'm like, nice place here, huh? Now they don't know I'm the owner,
All
and,
right.
and I do it all. I do it
It's
all
like
the
an
time.
undercover boss. It's like, yeah, I own this.
I also did Undercover Boss when we opened, but that's a different story for a different time. So I'm like, cool place, right? And they're like, amazing. And then the
Mm-hmm.
guy says, cool place. I was born here. Okay. Let me tell you something. I was born here, and I'm telling you that that bar right there is the best bar in Philadelphia. He's telling me
Wow.
that. And I'm like, really? There's a lot of good bars in Philly. And I'm like pushing the envelope with him. He's like,
Yeah. Are you sure? How many
yeah,
bar you
and he's
been to?
convincing me, no, you don't understand. They're changing the menus every week. They make new
Uh-huh.
cocktails and fresh ideas and this and that. Shout out to Ben, our food and beverage manager. He's so creative with the different drinks that he makes, always different drinks, and it captivates people. I'm telling you all this because we really do things completely different. It's funny because I always raise my kids. It's not bad to be different.
Oh my God.
It's
That's
not.
no, like that sets you apart.
I was always different.
Right.
When I was their age, I was always different. I was always a different one. And it's almost like also not to play the underdog role, but I also made it against all odds. I mean, I'm an immigrant. The immigrant stories. I came here with $500 on my name, but I did, right? So I was a different, right? And different is not wrong. Like, the kids,
No,
I have three kids, they have the thing, they go to you, you're weird. You're weird. They have the thing they say in school, you're weird. And I'm like, yeah, I'm weird. And what's wrong with it?
I know, right? You're
I'm
different.
I'm proud of being weird, right?
Yeah.
So we do things so different because we don't follow trends, we make the trend.
You're a trendsetter. Like, and I like how you're just set yourself apart. It's almost impossible for your competitor to copy you because you're doing something so different that they just can't catch up.
At the end of the day, I believe that there's so much abundance out there and people just need to kind of create their own lane. They don't need to follow
Right.
anyone's lane.
Don't be a copycat. Yeah.
Yeah, we were born originals. We don't need to die copy,
Yeah.
right?
And what you just said also remind me of remember we went to the most recent retreat. Pace even say that I want you to feel comfortable that you're not normal. You don't have normal friends and you don't stay in normal places. We hang out with extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm
100%.
Right. I'm so grateful for you to like to call you as my friend, and let's wow our audience a little bit on the number, right? So like I know it's a great restaurant, beautiful restaurant, like exquisite cuisine. Run down the number real quick for that this project, kind of wrap it up. Now I'll move on to the next one and ask you what you're working on. So talk about the build cost, how much you put in the money, how you exit out, what is the current evaluation of the hotel, just to give everybody an idea of like this is such a great turnout
Yeah.
for you.
Bought it for 3 million, put about close to 8.5 million in construction costs, renovations into it. So we're all in about 11.5, rounding it up with closing commissions and things like that, closing
Right.
costs and everything like that. It got appraised for close to 30 million. So
Yeah.
I would say we did a good buck on it. I mean, we still have it, but I don't want to give numbers. I
Yeah.
don't want to jinx,
No,
jinx
very
myself.
high level. Yeah. This one project make you a multi-millionaire, literally. So great job. Oh my God. So what's next for you? You've done hotel, you've done restaurant, you've done multifamily. What's next for you?
I always had an eye for industrial, right? Like my first project was an industrial warehouse. Tons of environmental issues. Used to be a bakery, used to be a gas shop, used to be this, used to like a lot of stuff. I feel like I kind of exhausted the multifamily because it's very heavy on the operation side. When you start having a portfolio and you have more and more and more tenants and things like that, and at the end of the day, I don't know, man. It's not that I get bored. It's just that I like to get challenged.
Right.
You
You've
know,
done it. You've done multifamily. You like the next
um,
challenge.
yeah, so now I'm more in the commercial flex space, which is basically big warehouses that you rent out for small local business owners, like people that wrap cars, people that teach karate or dancing lessons for kids, even garage shops, right? Like I was looking at a deal that had 12 lifts that you rent by the lift and you can rent it to like a Jiffy Lube. You can do a whole bunch of stuff and outfits with it. I'm buying them and I'm building them because I build stuff so much more complicated. Like I can build commercial flex. I don't want to say with one hand behind my back. I'm not a cocky guy, but it's very simple for me.
Right.
It's just it's a shell, it's garage doors. But the thing that really I like is the fact that you can build back all the expenses. Like it's a triple net.
Triple net
Which
lease.
is
Yes.
you can have your tenants pay your rent, they pay the insurance,
Insurance,
they
expenses,
pay all the repair costs.
repair.
So it's a very hands off. You
Right.
can have tens of millions of dollars of multiflex units and very, very little that you actually have to do. If you're smart about it, you can position yourself very good from a balance sheet standpoint that you can have a lot of pass through. Meaning, if you make, I don't know, 400,000 a year, you can actually get to keep most of it
Mm.
versus, 40,
Right.
50% of it in multifamily can easily go, it depends on the multifamily, 40% go out. You're dealing with business owners, you're not dealing with tenants.
Correct.
You're
It's
not dealing
more
with leaky faucet, leaky toilets,
yes.
calls in the middle of the night. I have a property management company, but they deal with this. It's heavy on payroll, it's heavy on all the things. So it's a very good thing because business owners are very different in the mindset. It's 5-year leases
Yes,
versus
multi-years.
every year, and then you have the turnover, you have to paint and patch and repair, so I kind of enjoy that model for now. Anything under commercial I love. Commercial flex kind of got me into data centers. Now I'm doing some work on develop a data center. There's obviously a very high demand and we
Correct.
don't have the time to get into it, but data centers are just blowing up.
Right. I think because the AI, a lot of things need like cloud space, like
Yeah,
computing power. That's all in the cloud, which is our data center.
like any other class has its own set of rules. You need a lot of power draw to sustain, and there's
Right.
a whole kind of intricacies that goes to that. Commercial real estate is kind of my jam. I loved it from day one, and been doing this for over 12 years now, and growing strong.
Yeah, and I see you're having a lot of fun doing it as well. I can see
Yeah.
from your face. Well, if anybody, I'm trying to like direct the right traffic to you, right? So you're
Mhm.
obviously a commercial real estate guy. Don't bring Duran any residential opportunity. He's not gonna look at it. But commercial space, anything commercial, you want them to come to you. Do you have any specific buy box? We can maybe touch on that real quick.
Anything that is commercial, from unit standpoint, anything over 5 units is considered commercial, but my sweet spot is between 100 and 250 units. I don't want anything bigger. I don't really like anything small unless it's a it's a stupid good deal and I have to be dumb not to take. But I do land development. Anything that is like up to 20 acres that you can develop, I can definitely do, and I've done, and I'm doing it tomorrow, like they say, like all the time. My real love is existing commercial places like commercial flex, mixed use, things like that. I try to stay away from retail. And if I can build it, it makes even more sense for me. But I'm between development and acquisition. Like the sign behind me says development and acquisition. So if you develop it, there's a lot of upside because you put so much money, but when it's done, it's worth double and you enjoy the cash flow, or you can just buy it ready and just enjoy the cash flow. But
Right.
that's kind of my buy box in general.
Are you sticking into around your backyard? I know you live in Philadelphia, or you're looking at
So
nationwide?
so development, most of it is in my backyard, but I do have a lot of red states, a lot of good connections because I built and I transacted on multifamily because
Mm,
multifamily you want to own more, and red states are more landlord friendly. So I
correct.
have a lot of good connections between contractors, property management, boots on the ground. So I can definitely buy commercial in red states. I am already. I have an LOI on 2 commercial properties in red states now. So I'm actively buying all the time.
And what would be the best way for people to reach out to you?
Usually it's Instagram. It's Doron Levy. I think it's down there. Doron Levy, REI, Real Estate Investment. Drop me a DM, say hi. I'm very active on Instagram, and Facebook's the same thing. My YouTube is also, everything's the same thing. Doron Levy, REI. I'm easy.
That's awesome. We definitely will include that link under the description so everybody can reach out to you. So thank you so much for joining our podcast today. I had so much fun, and it was great to get to know you, to kind of deep dive into your business and figure out what you're working on in the future. So best wishes to you, and I hope to see you very soon. I think in October again, and I will see you hopefully again very soon. So
Yeah,
thank you so much,
100%. 100%. It was a delight. Thank you so much for having me.